Hello, in this demonstration I'm going to show you how to complete the first Excel worksheet. As you can see, Excel's open in the screen, and when you open one of the worksheets you should see tabs down at the bottom, but you can't see the tabs down at the bottom, and the reason is that the worksheet's not completely open. If you can see the file name, Chapter 1 Excel, in the middle of the screen below the toolbars, then it's not completely open. Double click on that file name and now you'll be able to see the tabs down at the bottom. We're going to work on problem 1. Now in problem 1 you're to use what we call cell references, and what that means is you've got a budget here at 20,000 jars of salsa. You're asked to create a budget at 22 jars of salsa. Now remember, the variable costs are going to change as the volume changes, but the fixed costs will not. Now, cell referencing means that you're going to go down into the area where you're going to be putting in your answer. You click on the cell and watch right here. I'm going to type in equal. Equal lets Excel know that an equation is going to go in, or a cell reference. In this case, it's a cell reference. So I'm going to go back up to production of jars of salsa, because that's our starting point. So notice it brought down production jars of salsa. Now the number of units is different. I'm going to put in an equal sign. The numbers of units is over here, and notice it's in a separate cell so I can reference it. There we go. So we set up. These two are cell references. Look at what you've got. Equals B23, picked up this right here. Equals D13, picked up production jars of salsa. Our first line item is going to be ingredient costs equals, pick it up. So I just did a cell reference for that. Now, how do we figure out the variable cost? Well, our budget's based on 20,000. So we're going to start with equals, and we're going to go up and pick up the 16,000. That's how much ingredient costs were when, and we're going to divide by 20,000 jars of salsa were being produced. We're going to be producing 22, so this gives us the per unit, and then we put in the times sign and we multiply it times the number of units we're going to be doing, which is, whoops, went too far, which is 22. So I click on that. Notice until I hit enter, I can keep putting in cell references or calculations. So I hit enter, and we're going to have 17,600 in ingredients costs. Same thing for our labor cost, which is another variable. So I do the cell reference, and the calculation will be very similar. So I'm in the place where I want the amount, so I go equals, and I'm going to go up, and it's $9,000, divide by 20, and then times the actual number of jars that we're going to produce, which is the 22, and hit equals. So that's our variable costs. Now our fixed costs are going to stay exactly the same, so you can go up and do equals and pick up the rent. Now I'm going to show you something. Notice how these are listed in order. I can then copy this down, and it will pick up the cell references because the cell references are going to change as I copy it down. Notice I have a white cross. I go to the corner, I pick up a black cross, drag it down, and I have the 3. Now the amounts aren't going to change, so I'm going to go up and I'm going to pick up the first amount, 4,000. And just like before, I can drag that down, but I don't want to drag it down to the formula, just down to there. Now the formula to solve for this is auto sum. This is the auto sum, and it draws a box, but we don't want to include the 22. We just want these right here. Hit enter, and you've completed your first budget using cell references and formulas. And you'll be doing that throughout the rest of the Excels. Now, when you get down here, some of these titles aren't available in the Excel spreadsheet, so you will have to type them in. The numbers are available, so you will use those for calculations. I hope this helps.